Hey, how's it going, guys? War Pony Auto here. I'm going to do a quick review. I'm not going to call it an unboxing. I won't go there, guys. But a quick review of these exhaust manifold headers. Purchased them on eBay. If you notice, there's a lot of sellers on eBay that are selling these. This is for the Dodge Ram 1500 5.9 Magnum engine. Also fits the 5.2. So, you know, you have your Dakotas, Durangos, the Dodge Ram, all the same type of fitment. So anyhow, the seller said that these were fabricated here in the USA with global parts. We know what that means. I'm not going to speculate about where the parts come from, but overall I am pretty satisfied so far. You know, what meets the eye. We can check out the welds. If you look inside there, I'm going to zoom in a little bit there. If you look inside, the exhaust port outlets on the Magnum engine, well, the 5.2 and the 5.9 and various others, are actually square. So if you look in there, these tubes have been kind of bent to fit inside this flange, which is 3/8 inch thick. I already measured it. And then they weld the insides all around. I do a lot of welding. I am not certified. I'm pretty decent. I need, you know, my welds are good, but these are pretty decent. On the inside, they did grind them down a little bit, you know, obviously to make the ports smooth, so to speak. But as far as everywhere else, I mean, those aren't too bad. It's the start and stop point, and on both sides. We zoom back out. Not too bad. The flange is definitely thick on both of these. And what I like to do is, you know, when I'm putting on a set of exhaust headers, I like to check and see how flat they are. Now, there's a lot of other headers out there that don't have a flange that thick. But what I like to do is get them flat on the edge of a table where that flange there is not, the end of it is not going to hit the table, the level surface. And you can see this one sets flat. Hopefully you guys can see that. Can't zoom in, so let's do this side. That's flat. And yeah, you don't want anything that's got a bend in it. Some of them have a little bit of a bend in the center. So the idea is when you get it flat up there against the cylinder head, the two ends, tightening those down, will pull it in straight. I know some people will refute that, but overall these are pretty nice. Now back to the company. With them not really knowing, I can't tell you where they'd be made at, other than going by the seller's word that they were made here in the United States. They're pretty heavy. They weigh about, I'd say about 9-10 pounds a piece, somewhere in there. And the material seems to be pretty decent. They seem stout. Comes with the gaskets. We'll get into the hardware. The gaskets are pretty thick and decent. This one here, now a lot of people on the reviews, both Amazon and eBay, have complained about the hardware, saying that, well, we didn't get the right bolts. It kind of made the installation a little bit of a pain in the ass. You know, this seller here, I guess, taking that into account, gives you two different sizes, but they are, only difference is the length. I mean, these actually are Hedman headers, gasket or header bolts. 3/4 inch long. And then you get these here, which is a different option. I guess they just give you the option of both, but I guess the complaint from a lot of other buyers was that You know, they gave me metric bolts, and obviously it being an American engine, it's a standard SAE bolt holes all throughout. So yeah, that's not going to work. But these are definitely SAE, both of them, and I'm thinking it's just more of kind of like an option. It gives you the option of whichever one you want to do. What concept? This is a straight through bolt, whereas this is a stud. Sorry guys, this is a stud with a nut. So you'll put the stud in the cylinder hole, in the cylinder head first, and then you'll stick the nut on. And already I can see that, you know, you see the difference in length. So already I'm pretty sure I know which ones I'm going to use, which would be these ones. And the quality it's not that bad. It's pretty decent. I figure, you know, if it's China, they would give you some crappy hardware, but these are pretty decent. And we know Hedman is produced here in the United States, so maybe I would say maybe these are too. The next thing that I wanted to do was give you an idea on the depth of those by putting the gasket on and then sticking it through. Let's see what we got here. Hold on one second. Oh, that's barely even gonna fit, guys. So we'll put that through there. Stick this on there. See how much of a... That doesn't give you... If you can see that. That doesn't give you a lot to play with there. So, grabbing the other one... I really should have my tripod, guys. But this give you a decent idea. And you have obviously a lot more to work with there. So those more than likely will be the ones that I'm going to use. It's nice to have both options. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Now, the thing about these is, you know, you'll see them all over eBay. Just do an eBay search on them if you guys are in the market for looking, you know, for headers for your 5.9 Magnum or your 5.2. Do a search, read the reviews, and on these ones here, you'll have, I think, the seller that I looked up before buying them, the seller that I bought these two from, had maybe, I think, 4 negatives on these, and it was all about the hardware. It had nothing to do with the actual installation. And I noticed one guy did say Dodge Ram 1500 5.9 fit perfect, hardware fit right in, and I used the stock bolts for the exhaust outlet that goes into the before the catalytic converter, before the H pipe, or on the H pipe here that goes on there. The hardware fit, and he was able to reuse the existing hardware he already had, which is, I assume, OEM. However, the price, man, that is a huge difference. I bought these at $69 with free shipping. They seem to be the same exact thing that other sellers were selling for $99 in free shipping. And of course, you have your better brand names on eBay as well, where, you know, you'll see you get the exact square flange, and the tubing is, you know, bent to fit. The welds look just as decent, but around here the welds will go all the way around the pipe on the outside as opposed to just the top like this one here. But again, you know, they are welded on the inside, and they're welded pretty decent. So there is a difference in the way that these look compared to, you know, other headers that are produced by, I believe it was Hedman that has a set, and there are several other American companies that have, you know, these up for sale. And I don't know the difference because I don't have those in front of me, but as far as like price wise, I'm going to give these a shot, and I'm going to let you guys know how they work. I'm going to be putting them in tomorrow morning. I started working on taking out the OEM exhaust manifolds in my truck so that I could start in the morning fresh and get these in. And this is just a review video. Check my videos, like, share, and subscribe. and check out the part 1 of the Dodge Ram 2000 Dodge Ram project that I had, bringing it back to life, rebuilding it, restoration. This is what I'm working on. And then the part 2, this video of doing all this and putting it in the actual truck on the engine and whatnot, will be in the part 2 Dodge Ram rebuild. So that'll be coming soon. But like I said, this is just a review to review the product I got that I'm about to put in. And you know, I could say, looking at the hardware, looking at the actual product myself, I'm okay with it. I'm pretty decent. Now tomorrow it may change when I go to put it in, but we'll see. That'll be on the end of the video. I'll fire it up at the end of this video, and like, share, subscribe, guys. I hope this helps you out if you're looking for a set of these. Maybe give these ones a shot. And you can find them anywhere on eBay. It just depends on what you want to pay, between that $65 and $100. But I'm telling you, more than likely you'll get the same thing. Of course, if you want to pay more, you know, I believe it was 150 to 390, you could get a better set from a better well-known name, a manufacturer that you know they were manufactured here in the United States. You can give those a shot too, but this is just the cheaper, low-end alternative. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So what happened is, this is the driver's side. It hits the spark plug boots that sit in here, and the outer steel heat shields for the spark plug boots touches right up against there on both sides. The passenger side didn't do that, so it must be thinner in this area here on the passenger side than it is on this one, which goes on the driver's side. So what I did is grab this, got my big mandrel on there, and I just honed, or flattened, I'll say, at an angle so that it won't hit and rest on the spark plug boots. I get it on both sides. My air compressor kicked on. Usually it doesn't, but I've been using it this entire time. So I'm going to zoom in on that area. Yeah. So in order to get the hardware, this is the OEM hardware for the exhaust, for the header out to the exhaust pipe. See if you guys can see that. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Now, without the washers, which these are pretty decent heavy-duty washers, all you're going to have is this little retainer that keeps the bolt from turning too far. It catches on the edge. I'll put it this way. See, it catches on the edge. That way, from underneath, you can stick your nut on there. But without that, and this thing is not, these are just retainer clips. They're not to act as a washer or anything. They're too flimsy. Now you take that off, and this would slip right through that hole on the flange. So, trying to keep it, in there with just this, you'll end up pulling that straight through and messing it up. But what I found is, you add a nice thick washer in there, and it goes in and it holds nicely in place. So, and you're not really tightening these nuts down that much. I can't remember what the torque setting or what the torque specs are on it, but it's not that much. I mean, I didn't even need my impact to break it loose. It was just easier that way because they're pretty long. So I broke it loose with the first one with a ratchet, and it was literally, I don't know, you know, hand tight, whatever hand tight is for you, but they weren't very tight. So putting these washers on there is going to keep that nut from coming through, and it will work. I've had to do it before on other brands and worked fine. I just happen to have some that fit exactly on there so that you can use both, and it still stops the nut, the bolt, from moving when you tighten. So now I'm going to get these worked in, and I'll be back to I'm going to put the camera up over there as I'm putting them in from the top to give you a good idea of what it takes to put them in. Well, there it is, with the headers installed back there, which was kind of a pain in the ass because things didn't match up. I got it running into a 2-chamber custom Jones muffler using the original stock pipe, and it sounds pretty damn good. I don't want it too loud, so I didn't do a straight pipe or a glass pack or anything like that. I put the headers in and I put the muffler in, and it sounds pretty good. So install wise, I'd say it's easy if you know what you're doing. You've done it before and many times before. But if you've never done this and you're looking to do it, like, it's not as easy as what you might think or what people would say on you know, forums, internet, YouTube, whatever. But I did have to cut the pipe in the center, and I have a picture of it. But the header on this side, the angle of the output of the flange and everything is actually not tilted far enough for the stock pipe to go back up in there and bolt up to it. So how I had to do it was I had to cut this side here of the exhaust pipe off that goes into a U and then connects to this one and goes straight to the back to the muffler. I had to cut it down in the center about with the oil pan and transmission area, and turn this side towards the front of the vehicle a little bit in order to match up to that header. And then I'm going to have to go underneath there and weld that together, but for now there's U-clamps on it, and that'll hold it in place for now until I get a chance to weld it all together. Now, a lot of people are like, well, why'd you use the stock pipe? Well, the reason why I use the stock pipe is because it was replaced and it looks pretty damn new. So other than being, you know, a little dirty, and so it doesn't make any sense to take it out if I don't need to, and I didn't need to, so I just had to cut it and re-angle it, reposition it. I put a coupler on there and joined it back together and put U-clamps on both sides, and I will go back in and weld it all together. So for now though, it's running good. I put the lowering springs in the front and the lowering shackles in the back, so now it sits even and looks pretty good. So like, share, and subscribe. I would say the install wasn't that hard, as long as you got all the tools and everything you need, and it was fairly decent, fairly easy, I would say, and it didn't give me too much of a problem. I already knew what I was going to need to do. So, but if you're looking to put in these headers, you may want to put the headers on yourself and then take it over to the muffler shop and let those guys do it. Just for the simple fact that, I mean, if you don't mind using the clamps, I mean, it comes with clamps on the exhaust system stock anyway. So if you're comfortable with using clamps, hey, have at it. You may have to do what I did, and you'll see the pic where you have to cut the exhaust pipe on the driver's side and reposition, and then put a coupler on there and a couple of clamps and clamp it back up to the way it needs to be, but it's not that big of a deal. And you know, you can leave the clamps on there, nobody's going to see it anyway. But like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you're all being safe, and check back soon for more videos.